What if the reason you're the strong one isn't because life was easy for you, but because you never had a choice? But everyone sees your strength, but no one sees what it cost you to build it. And the truth is, if you've always been the one holding everything together, you didn't just become strong. You developed hidden traits that most people will never understand, that quietly shape everything about who you are. Let's uncover them. People often praise you for being the strong one, the one who holds it together, the one others lean on, the one who doesn't break. But what most people don't see is that your strength didn't just appear. It was built, quietly, repeatedly, in moments where you didn't have the luxury of falling apart. And here's the truth. Being the strong one is often misunderstood. It's not just resilience. It's a collection of hidden psychological traits developed over time that shape how you think, feel, and connect with the world. Traits that can feel heavy are also deeply powerful. Here are the hidden traits you likely developed if you've always been the strong 1.1. You became emotionally self-reliant. Psychology shows that when people grow up in environments where emotional support is limited or inconsistent, they learn to rely on themselves for regulation and comfort. Instead of reaching out, you learn to process things internally. Instead of asking for help, you figured things out alone. For example, when something overwhelming happens, your instinct isn't to call someone, it's to sit with it, think it through, and carry it quietly. At times, this can feel isolating, but it also means you have a powerful inner world. You've built a kind of emotional independence that many people struggle to develop. Your strength isn't that you don't feel deeply. It's that you've learned how to hold those feelings without falling apart. 2. You became highly aware of others' emotions. Research indicates that people who take on the strong role often become highly attuned to others as a survival skill. You learn to read the room, to notice subtle shifts in tone, mood, and energy. Maybe you can tell when someone is upset, even before they say anything. Maybe you instinctively adjust yourself to keep things calm or stable. This is emotional intelligence at a high level. Yes, it may come from a place where you had to be hyper-aware, but today it allows you to connect deeply with people, to understand them in ways others can't. You don't just hear words, you feel what's behind them. 3. You struggle to show vulnerability. Psychology shows that when someone is consistently seen as the strong one, they often feel pressure to maintain that identity. So you hide your struggles, you downplay your pain, you tell yourself, I'll deal with it later. Even when you're hurting, you might say, I'm fine, not because you're pretending, because vulnerability feels unfamiliar or even unsafe. But here's the reframe. Your difficulty with vulnerability doesn't mean you're closed off. It means you've been strong for so long that you never learned how to let others be strong for you. And learning that is not weakness, it's growth. 4. You developed quiet resilience. Research indicates that resilience isn't always loud or visible. Sometimes it looks like continuing, even when no one notices. You don't always celebrate your wins. You don't always talk about what you've overcome, but you keep going through stress, through disappointment, through emotional weight that others might not even recognize. For example, you might go through something difficult and still show up for work, for family, for responsibilities, not because it's easy, but because you've trained yourself to endure. This kind of resilience is rare. It's not dramatic, it's not obvious, but it's incredibly powerful. 5. You feel responsible for others. Psychology suggests that those who take on strong roles often internalize a sense of responsibility for other people's emotions and well-being. You might feel like it's your job to keep things together, to fix problems, to support everyone else. And when something goes wrong, you might blame yourself, even if it's not your fault. But here's the truth. Caring deeply is a strength. Feeling responsible for everything is a burden you were never meant to carry. The fact that you want to help others shows how much heart you have. You just don't have to do it alone anymore. 6. You underestimate your own need for support. Research indicates that people who are seen as strong are often the least likely to receive help because others assume they don't need it. And over time, you may start believing that too. You tell yourself, I can handle it. I've handled worse. I don't want to bother anyone. But strength doesn't mean you don't need support. It means you've survived without it. There's a difference, and recognizing that difference is one of the most important shifts you can make, because even the strongest people deserve a place to rest. If you've always been the strong one, It means you've carried more than most people realize. It means you've adapted, endured, and grown in ways that shaped you into someone deeply capable. But it also means you were strong when you had to be, not because you didn't need help, but because it wasn't always there. So let this be a reminder. You're allowed to soften. You're allowed to ask. You're allowed to be supported too. Your strength doesn't disappear when you do that. It evolves. And if this resonated with you, subscribe for more insights into the hidden patterns that shape who you are and how to turn them into your greatest strengths.